Hello, everyone. So excited to be here with you today for another Cosmic Tea Time chat. Today, we are talking about transmuting darkness into light. And if you don't already know me, my name is Kaitlyn. I'm a psychic moon mentor. I work with women to dive deep into their purpose, dive deep into their passion, and allow themselves to make money doing what they love. Excited to be here today to get into healing trauma, transmuting some of those deeper, darker emotions, and letting ourselves choose the light, remember the light, and let it be reflected outward from us. We're also going to talk a little bit about dreams today, all the things. I'm so excited. So I have Cyndi here with me today. Cyndi, would you be so kind as to introduce yourself?
Sure, I would love to. Thank you so much for having me, Caitlin. I'm so excited to be here. So, I am Cyndi. I am a full-time traveler in a converted ambulance, and I'm also a master life coach and NLP practitioner. And I am very passionate about um, self-growth and healing trauma and all the things that go with living a better life and finding fulfillment and peace in your life.
Yes, absolutely. So excited to have you here with me. I think a value that we share is freedom. So if you're someone who values freedom, you are in the right place. If you're catching the replay, you can drop freedom in the comments and let us know you connect with that value as well in your own life. So I know Cyndi and I chatted a little bit, and I started talking about dreams. And in my Ready to Rise membership, that's what we're talking about, dream interpretation and remembering your dreams and how we can access spirit, connect more deeply to ourselves, and start to witness and translate some of those symbols and meanings that we can get in our dreams. They can be so powerful. And so let's talk for a little bit because I know this is so common for many people of not remembering your dreams. Maybe someone watching, they think they don't dream. That's how they would describe it. I don't dream. I don't have dreams. I don't know if I do. I don't remember them. Let's talk for a minute about that. What can you share about someone who might be having that experience?
So, of not remembering their dreams, I think when we wake up in the morning, like the very first thing, we have like a little teeny tiny thread of those dreams really often. And, it might not be every day, but, I think we all catch it at times. And people will say, "Oh, I had a dream, but I don't remember it." So if you take that little thread and just pull on it some, just take a minute before you wake up and um, just try to, well, I mean, you're already awake. So take a minute before you get moving and get up and just really think, just maybe clear your mind and let those thoughts come back to that dream, and even have a notebook and paper and write it down without moving, even, and just even if it's little words, you might remember a chair or um, a dog barking, and if you just will stay in that moment, that information will start coming back to you. And
Yeah,
even
exactly. It's like a muscle, right, that we can strengthen with intention. And I think, we've all experienced this, being new at something, being a novice, diving into a subject for the first time. And it can be overwhelming, or, we're just telling ourselves, like, I don't know, I don't understand. Don't listen to me. I don't know about it, which is okay. But also, what I hear you saying is just like, you know, accepting and just being with that like piece of yourself that does know, like, oh yeah, I did have a dream and maybe you don't remember it, and that's okay, but can you just create some openness to be like, okay, well, what was that? And sort of like acknowledgement, right? Like acknowledge it. Acknowledgement can be so powerful.
yes, yes, absolutely. Yeah, you said that so well. And I think for me, like I had so much trauma growing up, and in our dreams, sometimes those things come back because they want to heal. So we're almost afraid to have our dreams because, especially when you've had trauma, so many of us have nightmares after the trauma. So we want to avoid that and push it off because they're scary to us. But the truth is, that's where your healing, part of your healing can come is from interpreting your dreams. Because I mean, I believe your dreams are trying to tell you things about yourself. It's the way that your subconscious communicates with you to um, tell you, hey, this is going on. There's a red flag here. Like, let's take care of this. But
Yeah, exactly. Your subconscious is communicating with you, and most of our being as humans, our subconscious is really operating and running the show. And so when we dive into something as, playful and, usually like innocent as dreams, it can just be one way to connect more deeply with ourselves. And so I want to highlight you and some of your work. And so, do you work with a lot of people who have experienced trauma and are like stepping into starting to heal that, or where do people find you like on their journey?
so I work with people a lot of times who have trauma and don't realize it. They're just stuck in life and they've just come past the part of um, I don't want to be here anymore. Or, they coming out of therapy and they're saying, okay, like I've made the choice to be here, so I'm going to make the best of it and I want to grow. Like I really want to dive into myself and, see and know who I am. And
Yeah, and I know I had that experience when I was, in my mid 20s, focusing more on like myself and my passions. And, I'm going to put myself first, which is, I love that we're talking about this today as we start to near Aries season, which is just that, right? Even the upcoming Libra eclipse that happens on March 24th, 2024, it's like, allowing yourself to dive deep into those passions. And for me at the time, it was Kundalini yoga, right? And so I'm spending more time with myself. I love spirituality and connecting in different ways. So I was playing with those and, being open and curious and diving in. And then I had what I call like a remembering. It was like these body sensations that I was like trying to make sense of because I was like, where's this from? I don't know. But I think it was what you're talking about, right? It was like this past traumatic experience that probably for so long, I was just like, nope, we're just going to compartmentalize this and we're just going to put it over there. Not going to deal with that right now.
yeah, and we tend to do that, but then there's so many ways that our body brings it back up. I like to say that our body has one job, and that is to help us to live that fulfilled life that will bring us so much joy and purpose. So it always sends these indicators to us in so many different ways. And, because we're over here trying to stick it in a box and hide it. But our body and our mind, they just keep bringing things up in different ways to get us to that point of living a fulfilled life. But we
Mm-hmm.
don't see it as that. We look at it and we say, oh, I'm afraid of it. That was horrible. And, when I get that feeling, oh, it's depression or it's anxiety or, I want to do everything to avoid that.
Or procrastination, yeah, for
Yeah,
different tasks in our life. Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. And I think there's one saying that came back to me that I really loved when I was studying for holistic health coaching, right? It's like the body can heal itself by itself, right? If you just can help support it and give it what it needs and put it in the right environment, like the body can heal itself by itself. So that's one thing. And then for me in my work, right, I teach a lot about lunar abundance and the cycles of the moon and connecting with that. But that's all a journey like inward, right? And so I work a lot with energy and the energy of emotions. And so people find me when they're stuck. And part of that is like what you're talking about. It's like I know it to be these big emotions that, maybe it wasn't safe to feel, you couldn't feel at the time, you didn't or don't have the tools in your tool belt to process some of that information and know that it's safe and okay to do so. And so I like to remind my clients, I want to honor it doesn't feel good. Like, right. We don't like to feel, angry or sad or mad or raged or, really hurt. And when those things come up, it's a good thing. It's a good thing because you're ready to feel it. You're ready to heal it and feel it. And then you can experience more of like what Cindy's going into of like this fulfilled life, right? It can free you.
Yeah. Oh, that's so beautiful. Like that's awesome. You articulate it so well.
Yeah. I've been doing this for a few years now, but like I'm so passionate about it, right? I'm like, I want to remind people like it is a good thing. So reach out for support, right? If it's, Cindy and you've connected with her and maybe you can't even put it into words what it is, but it's something that, and maybe it's Cindy, maybe it's me, maybe it's another healer or practitioner, and you can't even put it into words perhaps of like why you feel drawn to them and wanting to work with them. For me, that's a yes. That's your intuition communicating to you. That's maybe the support that you need, which we all need. I have a coach. I think Cindy has a coach, right? You're working with someone to support you in this life, this
Absolutely.
wild life journey.
Yes.
The support you need to have that goal, right? Your intuition, your body does know the way. And so what are some tools that have been helpful for you and or your clients on your journey to get into that space of acknowledgement, get into that space of presence?
So one of my favorite tools is reframing. So I love to, reframe the way someone is looking at a situation, like you just said. So I know you do the same thing.
Yeah.
So when they're saying, oh, these feelings are coming up and they're bad feelings, they're negative feelings, and helping them to really see that no, it's not, they're not bad, they're not negative, they are just emotions and feelings, and um, here's why, and and here's the correct way to look at them, like that this is a good thing and they are here to help you and help you heal. So that's just one example of reframing.
Yeah, I love reframing. Yeah, from and I've been there too, not wanting to feel something, not wanting to go there. It's like I want to cry, like it's not safe. I'm gonna get stuck here, right? Whatever it is, insert in the comments like one thing that's come up for you, a common thought, right? Of like, nope, I ain't got time for that, or whatever it is. And then one thing that helps me, like when I'm doing my own healing, which is like so essential, so crucial for any light leaders and healers out there who, maybe you've set aside taking care of yourself and doing your own healing practices on you. Let this be a reminder to like get into it and step into that time and space for yourself because it's going to allow for so much more abundance to flow to you freely. But when those big emotions come on, right, it's like, okay, breathe. For me, I come back to my breath and I'm almost like talking to myself or like reframing it a little bit, right? Of like, okay, I'm safe, I'm not there, I'm not where I was. Um, and just breathe with that. Usually that's what I come back to. Just breathe. Just breathe. And I can acknowledge the sensation of it for me helps so much, and like I mentioned, I work a lot with emotions and emotions are language of the body. So, this up here, it's not going to help us too much to process emotions, like, and maybe some of you have tried, maybe drop a brain emoji in the comments if that's you, trying to conceptualize why am I feeling this way? Why am I thinking this way? And can you reframe for like, this is happening for my good? Okay, just breathe. I can just breathe and just be with this. Um, and for some of my early stages, like I talked about a little bit, I call it like a remembering, right? I was diving deep into my own healing and these like sensations in my body would come up and I'm, at the time, I'm like trying to make sense of it. What is this? Where is this coming from? Right. And I would let myself cry. One, it was too overwhelming. I don't think I could have stopped it anyways. One, but two, reminding myself of like, oh, I'm not there anymore. Right. Sort of like detaching from it a little bit. Cause when you have big trauma, like, I mean, it can be scary. I want to honor that. It can be scary
Yes.
because
Oh,
you can really
absolutely.
like get
Yeah.
back into it and like vividly,
Mhm.
perhaps vividly remember the scene or sensations or, you know, but it's like, okay, I'm here, I'm present, I'm with my body, I'm not there anymore while all that big heavy flow is sort of going on. Um, how does NLP sort of help you and the people that you work through some of, you know, these traumas that might be resurfacing for people?
So can I just say first that that trauma that comes up that can be so absolutely hard, that is a maybe a number one reason that we need to work with someone who is trauma informed, not going to re-traumatize us, and help us get through that trauma in a uh, in the less painful way as possible. Somebody that's been there and done that.
Hmm.
And
Yeah,
yeah.
that's a good point. Yeah. So trauma informed and,
Mhm.
or yeah, because I've heard stories too of people who've been left, you know, in the past and they have this like sort of a awakening or remembering, like, you know, I was just talking about, but not the support or the tools to sort of slow down. Cause I think that's a big thing, right? It's like, no, we can't rush forward when that happens. We need to probably slow down and be with it and take our time, right? It's it's definitely different, right? That's what you're talking about is like finding someone who can meet those needs.
Yes. Yeah. And understand is like, I have worked with coaches, unfortunately, and therapists that have basically only re-traumatized me because they didn't really understand trauma. And they would just say and do the same things to me that caused trauma in the first place. And even though they meant to be very helpful, so yeah, I just think that's so important that people, and if you work with someone and it doesn't feel good to you, then move on to the next person. But like you said, it's so important to, when you see that person, that, oh, look, Kaitlyn is teaching what I need, that you contact Kaitlyn and just go with the flow of what you know to be right for you.
What are some tools and guidance that you like support people with, right, who have been in that journey and who have, you know, had big traumas and are like working with you for support? Can you talk a little bit
Oh,
about that?
so one of my favorite things is, well, movement altogether. You know, even yoga, qigong is one of my favorites, but the somatic exercises, I absolutely love the somatic exercises. They have helped me so much. When I'm right there in the moment and I just feel frozen and I can't get out of it. And I just feel so overwhelmed. Overwhelmed is a big one. And you can just do one of these somatic exercises just so quickly and easily to kind of ground yourself. Like you said, you use the breathing.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, and that's an excellent one that you can do anytime, anywhere. And um, some of the somatic exercises are the same. So one of them, can I explain it?
Please. Yeah, please do.
Like, I can't stand up and and I can't turn my camera around right now, or I would stand up and do it and show you or show the audience. So you just stand up and you hold your arms and your whole body loose and you just shake, like
That's what I
just,
was thinking of. Yeah, I love that you
yeah,
said that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm sure you know it. And yeah, that shaking, yeah, it's like a qigong thing, and you just let loose and yeah, and just shake and let all that out. Oh, I love that. I hear people say that they do that every day regardless, like especially when they're working like a corporate job or something and they're stressed, like just go to the bathroom and shake or
Yeah, and animals do that in nature. And I just want to say I love that you shared that because that's exactly one of the like simple ones that I was thinking of like shake it out. And this can be for like any emotion, right? That you're kind of like maybe you notice you're stuck in, whether you're like, having a remembering, like I've talked a little bit about, or just, an everyday occurrence. And it's like, okay, I want to move on from this, but I notice I'm a little bit stuck in this. Excuse yourself, go to the bathroom, go in a room, get in a private space and just like shake it out. Even in your car, you can just like do your
yeah,
upper arms and your hands. Animals do this in nature, right? Like we've all seen, a dog like shake it off, but
shake it
they're
off.
shaking off that
Yeah.
energy. Their hair is like an antenna, like for energy, right? And they're shaking off. They're letting it go. Because if
Yeah.
you don't, you will carry that energy
Yeah.
with you, and that's why I'm so passionate about what I do. Because if you
Hmm.
don't release it and you keep carrying it, and you choose not to acknowledge it, it's gonna manifest physically in your body over
Yes.
time. It will.
Yeah.
I've seen it
Yes.
time and time again, and I've helped people release it. I've helped people release it as well and clear out some physical ailments. But yeah, I
Mhm.
love breath too, because like Cyndi said, you can take it with you anywhere,
Yeah.
anywhere you are. And if, there's a breath work practitioner that you love, amazing. A simple one for me that I go back to again and again, you've probably heard of this, Cyndi, the square breath,
Hmm.
or like the four breath, right? So it's
Or,
all
yeah.
counts of four where we inhale for a count of four, hold the breath for a count of four, exhale for a count of four, hold the breath again at the bottom for four, and repeat as many times as you want. I always say at least 3 cycles, but you do you with that too. But it's so powerful because, like I mentioned, emotions are a language of the body.
Mhm.
And so we're not
Right.
going to think our way out of it. We're not going to, and I hear some people with the mindset's important and, with manifestation, if you've been following me for a while, yes, mindset's important, but also like, oh, your emotions are so powerful and it's energy. And it's like, we gotta move that to get into the body. That's how we do that.
Yeah. Yes, because one of my favorite books is The Body Keeps Score by Bessel van der Kolk, and he talks about the science of the fact that that trauma is held in our body and those ways to release it, um,
Mhm.
and seeing it. Um, I like to give a color and a texture to those emotions. Okay, I don't want to give it to them, but I want to see what they have and then see what that emotion, just being in that quiet space and seeing what that emotion is telling me. Because it is a red flag, it's saying, hey, let's heal this or release this.
Hey, I'm
And
ready. I'm ready to
but
let go. Hey, it's already started moving. So you've already done a lot of the work to have it resurface, if you will. Right. And so the next step, you got it, is keep moving it. So get
yes,
moving.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, amazing. Cool. So, yeah, so let's see. Some of the tools in your tool belt, you mentioned NLP. Did you say you're Reiki certified as well?
No, no, I
No,
don't do
not Reiki
that.
certified. Okay.
I would love to, like so many times I've thought, oh, I've got to do that. And I've just read a bit about it, but not enough. But yeah,
Yeah.
it would be on
No,
my
it's
list.
all good. Yeah. Um, yeah. I don't know. Anything else coming up for you that you want to share today or highlight about some work that you're excited to have
Well,
available?
yeah, you know what? I just started this group and I am really excited about it because, I've gotten into these groups that are about self-growth and healing, and they don't offer that safe space and supportive and give you the how to do this. And there's just not enough of us out there, Kaitlyn. So I created a group that we can do that. We can talk about the healing, the trauma, and ways to, like we were just talking about, ways to release it and move from it and learn together, grow together. So I'm pretty excited about that. Yeah. And if anybody wants to join my group, you can just send me a quick message and let me know, or comment below.
Comment below community, and we'll make sure to get you the information to connect with Cyndi and her community, because community is so powerful and healing, right? It's one of the reasons I'm so passionate about my Sedona Soulmate retreat that I am doing next month, is to create that community for these light leaders, for people like you and I, right? To connect on a fun adventure, yes, but also be reminded that we can be multifaceted, that we can use our passions, connect with them, and let our intuition be the guide to achieve those and do the magical work that you and I are both doing in the world, because it's so needed, right?
Yes, absolutely. And I was having a conversation yesterday with someone, and they said, "Why is there so much bad in the world?" And I said, "It's because we're not getting together and putting out enough good. So, like, let's put out more of that good. Let's put out more of the healing. Let's do more of this and make our groups bigger and support each other more, so that people can say, there's just so much good in the world," which there is. Sometimes we just don't see it, but yeah.
Hell yes. Yeah. And that's an example of reframing that we could do around, right, that thought, and reframe it to there is so much good in the world. And, I love that you mentioned reframing today, because I think that's one way to positively work with our mind and our thoughts to manifest, to bring that in with us. If you're craving community, yes, you can find it virtually in amazing spaces, but if you want it physically too, start to think, even if it's that simple, of like, okay, there is good in the world. Okay, there are people who are interested in blank, insert, whatever you're interested in, and drop that in the comments so we can get to know you as well. Um, because then you'll find them. You will, I
Yeah,
promise. I dare you to play with that.
yeah.
Find it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes, so
Yeah.
good. Well, I've so enjoyed having you here with me today. It's been so lovely to get to know you better. And this will be one of many conversations I think that we'll have. And next week, we're going to be in Cyndi's group. So I'll make sure to have her group and contact info in the description for you. Also, comment community. And I can, reply to that directly for you. So you have easy access to that. If you're curious about the Sedona retreat details that I mentioned a moment ago, you can drop Sedona in the comments or reach out and message me. Cyndi, where can people find you on Instagram, Facebook? Where can they connect with you?
So I am on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, and I've started a YouTube channel where I share my travels mostly on YouTube, and I mean I share it everywhere because it's just fun. So I am empowered by Cyndi, and it's kind of rough, but it's in like your inner power instead of empowered. So it's IN powered by Cyndi, which is spelled CYNDI. So you can find me at Empowered by Cyndi on any of those three social media outlets.
Yes, perfect. Yeah. And if you're someone who values freedom, definitely follow Cyndi. She values it as well. And you can catch sight of some of her adventures and amazing things that she's doing in the world. All right, amazing. So, just lastly, I'll say if anyone wants to learn more about dream interpretation, manifesting your big dreams in the world, that's what we're diving into this month. Um, Inside of my Ready to Rise membership. So you can message me directly or drop dream in the comments if you want to learn more about that. But otherwise, sending everyone so much love and light. Happy moon manifesting, everyone. Thanks again, Cyndi.
Thank you.